welcome to Keitha's Reading About Life. Definitely welcome. I feel like I would have a lot to give to you guys out of my channels. Now, I am kind of YouTube new or new to YouTube. So, I definitely want to do a formal introduction of what my channel will be about, what's the purpose of me creating a channel, and a little bit of background. And that way you guys can just be more personal of who you're listening to. So I definitely want to go ahead, and by the way, I do have this little notepad that I keep all my notes on, and that's just to keep me together and also to make sure I don't forget anything important, because I have a forgetful mind. So keep that in mind. I'm forgetful, so don't let that slip your mind. So anytime that I ask of you guys to do anything, definitely do it, because I do forget. Just to kind of talk about the purpose of my channel now, my channel will have a lot to do with just self. A lot of things and a lot of topics that I'm going to touch bases on will basically be about self, self-reflection, self-resolution, conflicts, life, success, everything that's basically personal. And a little bit on relationships, because a relationship, it does take place, even if it's the relationship with your boss, a friend, your kids, family, a spouse, any of that. So relationships does take a toll on situations such as yourself. So I will be touching bases on that, but not mostly about that. It's really about self. So to kind of give you a little background as well. Now, I do have this weight loss journey that I'm going on, and my weight loss journey, it's not about weight loss. It's not what my channel is about, but it will be implemented in my channel, more like accreditation to what I'm saying to you guys, and just show you how motivated you can be. And I guess I'll just use myself and my personal goal at this time as a accreditation to basically mark my journey, so you guys can kind of see what I'm saying and credit it towards what I'm actually doing, because it's kind of like, people can tell you what to do all day. They can tell you how to do it. They can tell you when to do it. But it's like when you go to do it, it doesn't really, it doesn't really sink, because it's like, what if I don't want to? Never mind. It's like, but you go and get the steps. But when you got the steps, you still don't want to do it. So my channel is basically to give you that push to actually want to go out and do whatever it is that you want to do. Now, kind of to touch bases on my current situations now, I kind of, let's say, relocated at a younger age. I left home. I went to a brand new state. I met new people. I do have a kid. And I can just say that I've been through enough and I've encountered enough just to kind of know the direction of where I messed up, what I should have done, my environment. I learned so much about myself taking that move to where you guys is going to hear all about it. But you're going to hear about it in the sense of actually telling you guys what you should do. Like, kind of basically like the icon of wanting to do better for yourself is basically what I'm getting at. So definitely want to go ahead and jump into some of these topics here. Now, most of my topics is going to be on, like I already said, self-reflection, self-motivation, whatever you want to do. Also, I have some really good quotes by famous people. Now, I do plan on building my channel to, to the top, because in the sense that, I get up there, I will try to definitely collab with people, or collab with people that you guys request for me to collab with. Definitely want to get someone who's already in the field of success, or really know about more than I know. It's never too much, you're never too old to learn. You can never get too much information about yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, if I was to get a important or popular guest speaker, I would definitely want to bring them on my channel, and so you guys can actually send requests, send messages of questions you would like me to ask why they're on my channel. Now, that is my goal. My goal is to basically help you guys in the best way I would know how. I did want to do life coaching. And sorry, I said I was going to jump in the first topic, but I guess I already skipped around that. So, just to kind of touch bases more about my channel. Now, I do want to blow up for this channel, only for you guys' sake, because I would love to meet some motivational speakers that actually made it, and some well-known motivational speakers to come on my channel and actually give us more insight on how they actually overcame a lot of things in life that we're probably stuck at. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where most of my channel is aligned with. It's basically like, have you ever watched famous people or people who made it in life, and when they're doing interviews and they're being asked questions, it's like they always give you the minimum of what you really want to know. See, I'm more of a deep thinker. So in the event that I ask a question, I may ask another question to follow up with the question I asked if I feel like it's more there. And, you know, sometimes it's just a communication level with people. You know, when you ask a person a question, they may give you an answer. And it's like, not that you're digging for the answer you want them to give, but it's like sometimes you feel as though it could be a more in-depth answer. Or if you're a deep thinker, you kind of want more. You know, you kind of want detail. So that's one thing that I can say that people really skip over with being popular or making it in life, like listening at videos and interviews of people. And it's like, for an example, someone to get interviewed and they're like, okay, so, you know, when you were staying, you know, in a homeless shelter and now you're this famous singer, what motivated you to go there? Or what gave you that kick to be that singer? And it's like they kind of say things of this sort. You know, I did what I had to do. You know, I slept on couches. I was house to house. And, you know, I just had to overcome. And you're just sitting there like, you know, we're human. We all know that there's emotion in everything we do. We know that there's steps that you have to take to get to that point of life to actually keep going. And it's like, as me being the interviewer, I would actually want to know the steps that you take. Did you stay up on the block every night, or did you have to wait outside for, you know, for them to be an open bed? In the case that it wasn't an open bed, where did you go? How did you eat? How did you survive? What job you work? It's not to really be nosy, but sometimes I feel like a little detail will actually help the next person who may be going through the same thing. And I feel the same way about single parenting. I feel like when you have single parents who graduated from the universities or became this, you know, successful person in life and whatever they did, you know, to do so, what actually motivated them to get up and say, you know what, I got 5 kids, I work a 9-to-5 job, I barely make money, I have to feed them, I have bills, I have everything up against me. What did you do to actually break down that wall? And I feel like that is what I want to kind of touch bases on in some of my topics, but that would definitely be most of my reasons of interviewing people, because I feel like people only give you the minimum, or people always give you what they want you to know, but it's like that small detail that they leave out could help someone tremendously. And I'm one of those persons who I feel like I have a lot of fear. You know, I have a lot of anxiety problems. I know how it is to actually want to do something, and you have that thought, and it's a bright thought, but when you go and do it, you don't even know how to take this first step. It's like you're a little baby in the world all over again when it comes to your own ideas. So that's what my channel will be about. I do also want to let you guys know that now in some of my topics, if you kind of hear some of the things that you may heard before, don't judge so far. I do want to go ahead and touch on a lot on the basics of what I mean. So if you hear some of the repetitions you heard before, know that my videos will become more and more and more and more in depth. The only reason why I say that is because I have to give the people who's, you know, may not be so familiar with the terminology or the process about self-reflection. So I don't want to really give give them, I do want to give them a chance to kind of catch up to where we are in life when it comes to some of these topics. So don't switch the channel so fast when you hear, oh, I already know this about, because it will get in depth. I do have a lot of sharp conversations, sharp topics, a lot of credited quotes from famous people, different things that would actually help us align with one another on this video. So I do want to go ahead and touch bases on the first topic. And to lead into the first topic now, I know you guys may have heard of repetition. Repetition, to me, I got my own, and my channel is my own theory, so I don't want nobody, getting on my channel, commenting, oh, that's not right, this is not right. Well, life is a theory, you know what I'm saying? What works for one person may not work for you. Don't mean that thing is wrong because it didn't work for you. I feel like everybody have their own way of accepting information that actually will benefit a person. So I feel like everybody is entitled to their own opinion. So if you feel like what I say help, use it. This is what I'm here for. So to touch bases on repetition definition, I know the basic definition of repetition is to repeatedly do something or an act. You continually to do something. What my repetition to you guys would be, make accomplishments habits. That's what my repetition I will want you guys to do. Your repetition on this channel, your repetition in life, your repetition with whatever you have to do routinely is to make accomplishments habits. And just to touch bases on that, everybody has a common goal. And I feel like even if you want to be that nurse, you want to be that police officer, you want to be that entrepreneur, you want to be that CEO, I feel as though everyone has a common goal, and it's to get to that destination. Wherever it is, how big or small from the next person, I feel like we all have a common goal. We want to make it. You want to live comfortably. You want to be happy. One person may want $1 million. One person may just want $50,000. Wherever it is, we all have some kind of stop sign or some kind of leadway to this is my destination. Now, what you do when you there and you may, go past your destination, even better. But we all want to get someplace in life. The place that we set aside for ourselves. And I can tell you a couple of stop signs that's actually stopping us from actually reaching our goals. And I would say it's called paradigm. Now, the first time I heard paradigm, I was watching one of Bob Proctor's videos. Look him up. He is an amazing person to listen to. And he's so self-motivation, just to actually be open-minded. I think he was the first person that I actually started to listen to when I started learning about self. And I felt as though I was like, wow, I've been living with myself for how many years, and I'm just not learning things about myself that your boyfriend, a girlfriend, mother, father, cousin, sister, brother can't tell you about yourself. Most of the things that you really get in tune with is only personal. You can't really get a lot of in-depth about yourself with other people. They can only foresee what they feel about you or their experience with you. Don't make it always correct. Me observing a person and giving feedback is only how I feel. So the next person may not feel the same. So I really feel like being in sync with yourself and being in alignment with yourself is probably going to be the best way to actually to succeed in life. And one thing that's stopping us is that paradigm. Now, for most people who don't know what a paradigm is, it's a multitude of habits stored in the subconscious mind. And that leads me to my first topic, being in alignment with self. It's like being in alignment with self means an agreement, a commitment with an idea for yourself to a cause. It's kind of like you have to mirror yourself. Like you have to literally look in that mirror and say, am I a doctor? Am I a lawyer? Am I a mom? Am I a girlfriend, a boyfriend? Am I a this or am I a that? It's like you actually have to be in an alignment with yourself. If you're not in alignment with yourself, how are you going to actually step forward to that next goal? It's like I can't be this procrastinator but want to be a CEO. That doesn't match. That doesn't match at all. Because if I'm procrastinating as just a regular person, how can I bring that to the table of being a CEO? You see what I'm saying? It's like we don't actually stand in a mirror and just say, I'm that super cool mom I always want to be in life. Because when I look at myself, I'm like, oh, I don't do this, I don't do that. Oh, definitely forgot to do this. Because all we look at is our imperfections, which we all have. But I feel like when you set a goal for yourself, you actually have to almost fake it till you make it. You have to look in the mirror and say, I'm that doctor. Wear a white coat. If you have to look in the mirror, I'm that lawyer. Wear a blazer. Get you a briefcase. It's like you almost have to darn near fake who you is just to succeed in life. Because you being your normal self doesn't help you any. If anything, you're just storing paradigms. And paradigms is just a multitude of habits. And those habits can be things of procrastination. I have a habit of that. Procrastination is basically my habit. I continue to do it. I do it every day. I procrastinate. And what's a habit? Something that you do repeatedly. And what's repetition? You do it over and over and over. Do you see how I'm starting to match all these up? So what I mean to you is you can't actually agree to yourself to have an idea or to be a person or to make something happen in life if you're not in an alignment with self. You have to actually match yourself. You can't be that doctor but don't go to school. You see what I'm saying? You can't be that nurse but don't study your material. It's like you have to align yourself up daily with what you want to do. How do you do that? Repetition. Make repetitions accomplishments. Make accomplishments habits. And again, it's easier said than done, but when you really break it down, just think about it. It's a habit to grab a cigarette. It's a habit to get out your bed because your alarm went off. It's a habit to drink water. It's a habit to eat. It's a habit to sleep. It's a habit to blink. It's a habit to breathe. Whatever you have to align the word habit with, something that you do every day, you have to start doing it. And it's an agreement. It's almost like a commitment. And think about it. We risk lives going to work every day. You get up, take the kids to school if you got kids, or you get up, you eat your breakfast, or you get up, you get your clothes on, you shower, whatever your daily routine is. You break every rule for self. You don't want to get up, you're tired of the job, you hate your boss. It's like you almost break every rule of how you actually want to live your life just to go to a job, right? But you won't put that same energy into yourself. You'll risk your life going to work, taking public transportation, driving, skipping, flying. You'll use all your energy towards someone else's craft. But you would never stand in the mirror and align yourself up with the things that you actually agree with. Like, yeah, I want to be this rich person. Or, yeah, I want to be that nurse. Yeah, I want to be that helicopter driver. Yeah, I always wanted to climb mountains and be but look what you do every day. And there's not going to be a moment in life that's going to change anything. It all starts with self. And I do want to read you off this quote. And the quote reads, I want people to think through their issues. I'm just tired of blind alignment. That was a really good one. Being successful does not bring happiness. Alignment does. And I agree. I really agree. I agree that being successful does not bring you happiness. It's just a piece. It's like an ingredient on a hamburger. It's the buns, because success is what's going to hold everything together. You know, your fortune, your establishments, things that you did. That's the bun. But I feel like it's not everything. You know, it's plenty of successful people that's miserable. You know, it's rich people that hate it. We even have rich people commit suicide. Like, being successful doesn't bring happiness, no. But it was definitely the bun of that burger. Like, you just can't have that bun. You can't call it a hamburger without the buns. Period. The meat, that's ground beef. Or if you're vegan, that's what is it? Falafel or something. I don't know. But it's not the hamburger. You get the picture, okay? Now, this is a quote that I came up with. I said, make a mirror of yourself. Make sure your ideas match your success aspects of the purpose. And I said that to say this. It brings you back to mirroring yourself. It's like you have to match your ideas up with what you really want to do. You got to match your actions up with what you really want to do and where you want to be. It's like I can't express that enough, because if you guys are not understanding that, repetition, review this video. If you didn't hear something clearly the first time, hear it again the second time, and the third time, and the fourth time, and the fifth time, until you actually get the aspects of what I mean. Matching yourself up with success is important. You cannot be a successful person and not look successful. You cannot, and notice when I say cannot, I'm not saying that you can't, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of successful people that probably look like trash. But hey, for starters, you want to kind of dress yourself how you want to feel, how you want to. Have you ever heard of, if you look better, if you look better, you'll do better? Sometimes if you dress up going to work, you get a different type of vibe from people. They may look at you, oh, you look nice today, oh, da, da, da. That kind of probably help you out throughout your day. Like, I look nice today. Instead of going to work like, it's Monday. And I'm tired of we use Monday as an excuse to just not do what we want to do in life. If Monday bother you so much, take off Monday. How about that? Go to the park and lose that weight, Keitha. Go to the zoo and look at those animals. Go spend time with your family, be a better spouse. Go make investments. Go to the library, do your research, start your class, sign up for college. Use Monday as a motivation to do what you want to do in life. Because complaining about Monday is going to be plenty other Mondays that's going to come along, and it's going to keep coming. But that's not going to stop anything if you don't begin something. And that's one thing I like about talking to people through their problems. It's like nothing stops unless you begin. You have to begin something to stop it, right? I mean, if a ball rolled down a hill, you can't stop a ball that's not moving. You have to stop the ball when it's rolling. And as long as you're actually going through life and there's obstacles, understand that at least you're moving. I mean, you literally cannot fail if you don't try. You can't fail if you're not trying, because if you're not trying, you already failed. You know what I'm saying? It's like you didn't try, you failed. But if you actually try to fail, at least you kind of can rope out what did not work versus not doing something at all. And some good tips that I did come across is basically meditating. Meditating to me was one of the first things that I actually began realizing about myself, that I really didn't know myself as well as I thought. You know, you watching meditation, you watching these people and they just be still. And the whole time I'm like, okay, I have to clear my mind. But every time I clear my mind, I'm like, here's another thought. Then I'm like, now I'm thinking about crazy random stuff. And then it's like, why am I still thinking? And it was like, until I did that research to say that you can think of things when meditating. You just have to learn to release the thought. And learn to accept and let go of judgment. That is one other tip that I did write down for you guys in this journey. And this is not just on this topic of alignment. This is more of the whole process. Meditation, trusting yourself, and learning to accept and let go of judgment. And the only reason why I say accept judgment is because, you know, you're not in this world by yourself. It's going to be hard to go out through life and not be judged. That's just what it is. We're all going to be judged at some kind of angle. You guys might judge me now. I'm fresh off work. Hey, I'm in a little room in my apartment, and I'm doing a video, you might say, oh my gosh, her hair's look nappy. Yes, it's nappy. Or you might say, oh, I didn't like flowers. I think she should have just wore stripes. Judgment is going to be there. Like, oh, she drank Essential. Oh, well, you know what? I drink this. You know, and it's kind of like you can't stop that part in life. But you can learn how to accept it, but also let it go. Because the one thing about it we don't like to do is accept things. And I feel like it all depends on the good and the bad. You know what I'm saying? You do have to accept more of the good than the bad. You can't let judgment stop you. And that's why I said let go of judgment. So you can accept it, but you can let it go. Embrace positivity. I feel like that's one of the things that I lack the most, and I have had a hard time to come around to it. Accepting and embracing positivity is probably going to be the head on the nail. You have to be more positive in life. And I always say, why do bad things happen to me faster than the good things? And I basically looked at it like, maybe it's because I'm accepting and embracing more of the bad things than I will the positive things. Because you know how sometimes something positive happened to you, like, where did this come from? Like, why did this happen to me? Why did that cute girl choose me? Why did that cute guy choose me? And it's kind of like, you just don't want to accept positivity the faster than you do negative. Negative, you're like, oh, I already knew that was going to happen. This was always, the goal in life, to be a failure. You already put so much energy on embracing negativity before you do positivity. And that's just for the ones who do. I do know a lot of people who are very positive people, and that will play a big part in your environment. I mean, honestly, your environment and being positive is really going to put the icing on the cake for a lot of things that you want to happen in life. And make sure you journalize. Journalization is probably one of the other big factors on being successful, because I feel as though journalizing really lets you know where you are in life. And I'll break it down this way. If you journalize everything you do successfully as far as you accomplishing things, you can always see your journey. But the moment that you're not doing anything, you're not going anywhere, you're not making any goals, you're not doing anything, you can go back and look at your journalization and be like, I didn't do nothing. And it's like almost a self-critical thing. It's like pros and cons to journalism. Journalizing would help you a lot because it would let you see yourself. It's like no one's judging your journey. No one's talking about how fast you're going, but you know your own pace. You know your own, your own way. You keep a track of your own journey. So no one can tell you going too fast or moving too slow. But when you look at it, you know exactly if it's too fast or too slow. You get what I'm saying? So it's like journalizing is very, very important, I would say, because I really feel like that would be the best way for you to see yourself, your goals, your motives, the push. Are you moving? It's almost like a map. You started here. Are you still here? Are you in the middle? Are you supposed to already be at the end? It's kind of like your own way of looking at what you're supposed to accomplish and what has not even been touched on, or oh my gosh, I'm way past that. And it kind of helps you get on things. And then as you journalize, you can always mark it and tick it and stamp different goals, different time periods, and cross them off. I love that. Like, have you guys ever had like a list of things you had to do and then you cross it off and it's like, oh my gosh, it's like a burst of high heaven, I don't know, like a drug or something you get. I'm kidding. Maybe I'm being exaggerated. But I just mean like it's a drug of relief. Like, oh my God, I crossed it. Taking my trash out. Somebody pat me on the back. Because it's like, you crossed it off. So if you had 5 things, now you got 4 things. And then when you're down to 1, you just want to go have a drink. Like, hey, I did it. This list is done. Sometimes you need that. So that's kind of what helps me move past a lot of things. But like I said, like I have a lot of different goals and topics, and I have a lot of things to bring to the table. I wish you do. I wish you would go ahead and definitely subscribe to my channel. And like I said, for the people who kind of heard all the terminology that they've always been familiar with, now I need something more. I heard this before. Just stay patient. I promise as I go along, I would definitely get more and more in depth. But you know, this is just the purpose of my channel. Most of my channel will be about, you know, self-reflection, and I will have different guests to speak, different backgrounds. I don't want to target one particular topic. I want to have people to come on my channel. It's pretty much people personal that I know that I think that will help you guys a lot as well. Maybe they could tell most of their stories and what they went through, and hopefully that'll be a little push out the window. But basically, I'm going to be your guys' life coach. I'm going to make sure y'all meet the goals. We're going to journalize together. I think there's a lot in store, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Don't count me out. I promise you guys, I definitely want to be the one that hear the comments about, you know, I took that step, I got the position, I did that. Like, that's what helps me grow, to help other people. And I'm just not realizing that this is my talent. So please invest in your time. I'm free. I'm not servicing you guys, but I definitely feel like I have a lot to bring. So hopefully I'll see you guys next time on Keitha's Reading About Life. And have a wonderful week. Bye.